Welcome to the episode of Physical Education. Today, in this lecture, I will be talking about basketball history, rules, fouls and violations in this game. Basketball. It is a sport played by two teams of 5 players on a rectangular court. The objective is to shoot a ball through a hoop 18 inches, that is 46 centimeter in diameter, and 10 feet, that is 3.048 meters, high mounted to a backboard at each end. A team can score a field goal by shooting the ball through the basket during regular play. Basketball history. In contrast to other sports, basketball has a clear origin. It is not the evolution from an ancient game or another sport, and the inventor is well known, Dr. James Naismith. Naismith was born in 1861 in Ramsay Township, Ontario, that is in Canada. He graduated as a physician at McGill University in Montreal and was primarily interested in sports physiology. In 1891, while working as a physical education teacher at the YMCA International Training School, today it is known as Springfield College in the United States, Naismith was faced with the problem of finding in 14 days an indoor game to provide athletic distraction for the students at the school for Christian workers. After discarding the idea of adapting outdoor games like soccer and lacrosse, Naismith recalled the concept of a game of his school days known as duck on a rock that involved accuracy, attempting to knock a duck off the top of a large rock by tossing another rock at it. Starting from there, Naismith developed a set of 13 rules that gave origin to the game of basketball. Of course, it was not exactly as we know it today. The first game was played with a soccer ball and 2 peach baskets nailed 10 feet high, used as goals on a court just half the size of a present-day court. The baskets retained their bottoms, so balls scored into the basket had to be poked out with a long dowel each time and dribbling, bouncing of the ball up and down while moving was not part of the original game. The sport was an instant success, and thanks to the initial impulse received by the YMCA movement, basketball's popularity quickly grew nationwide and was introduced in many nations. Although Naismith never saw the game develop into the spectacular game we know these days, he had the honor to witness basketball become an Olympic sport at the 1936 Games held in Berlin. These are James Naismith's original 13 rules of basketball. First is, the ball may be thrown in any direction with one or both hands. Second is, the ball may be batted in any direction with one or both hands, but never with the fist. Third is, a player cannot run with the ball. The player must throw it from the spot on which he catches it. Allowance to be made for a man running at good speed. Fourth is, the ball must be held in or between the hands. The arms or body must not be used for holding it. Fifth is, no shouldering holding, pushing, striking or tripping in any way of an opponent. The first infringement of this rule by any person shall count as a foul. The second shall disqualify him until the next goal is made, or if there was evident intent to injure the person for the whole of the game, no substitution shall be allowed. Sixth is, a foul is striking at the ball with the fist. Violations of rules 3 and 4, and such as described in the rule 5. Seventh is, if either side make 3 consecutive fouls, it shall count as a goal for the opponents. Consecutive means without the opponents in the meantime making a foul. Eighth is, goal shall be made when the ball is thrown or batted from the ground into the basket and stays there, providing those defending the goal do not touch or disturb the goal. If the ball resets on the edge and the opponents move the basket, it shall count as a goal. Ninth is, when the ball goes out of bounds, it shall be thrown into the field and played by the first person touching it. In case of dispute, the umpire shall throw it straight into the field. The thrower is allowed 5 seconds. If he holds it longer, it shall go to the opponent. If any side persists in delaying the game, the umpire shall call a foul in them. The 10th is, the umpire shall be judge of the men and shall note the fouls and notify the referee when 3 consecutive fouls have been made. He shall have the power to disqualify men according to Rule 5. 11th is, the referee shall be the judge of the ball and decide when it is in play in bounds, to which side it belongs, and shall keep the time. He shall decide when a ball has been made and keep account of the goals with any other duties that are usually performed by a referee. 12th is, the time shall be 2 15 minutes halves with 5 minutes rest between. 13th is, the side making the most goals in that time shall be declared the winners. Next is, let us have a look on the measurement of the court of basketball. This is the table which is showing the measurement of the court. Another part is measurement and preparation of the field. NBA, professional and college, 94 feet long and 50 feet wide. High school, 84 feet long and 50 feet wide. Junior high, 74 feet long and 42 feet wide. The foul line. For all courts, the foul line distance is 15 feet from the foul line to the front of the backboard. This measurement is commonly confused as from the center of the basket and front of the rim. The key, that is the lane. The key, also called the lane, is different for professional, NBA, and college high school, professional, NBA. The key is 16 feet wide. College, NCAA, and high school, the key is 12 feet wide. Regulation courts have the background extending out 4 feet over the baseline into the key. A 6-foot arc, half circle, extends from the foul line away from the basket to complete the key. The 3-point line, arc. 3-point lines differ as follows. NBA basketball courts, The 3-point arc is 22 feet to the center of the rim on the sides with a straight line extending out 16 feet 9 inches from the baseline. Past those points, the line extends out 23 feet 9 inches from the center of the rim. Men's and women's college basketball courts. The 3-point arc is 20 feet 9 inches. High school basketball courts, the 3-point arc is 19 feet 9 inches. The backboard and rim. The regulation distance from the ground to the top of the rim is 10 feet for all levels of play. Regulation backboards are 6 feet wide, 72 inches by 42 inches tall. All basketball rims, hoops are 18 inches in diameter. The inner square on the backboard is 24 inches wide by 18 inches tall. All line markings on the floor are 2 inches wide and can vary in color. The restricted arc. The restricted area arc is a semicircular arc drawn around the area directly underneath the basket. Defensive players whose feet are inside this arc cannot draw charging fouls. In courts, both men and women's, the arc is a radius of 3 feet, 0.91 meters from the center of the basket. Teams. Basketball is a team sport. 2 teams of 5 players each try to score by shooting a ball through a hoop elevated 10 feet above the ground. The game is played on a rectangular floor called the court, and there is a hoop at each end. The court is divided into 2 main sections by the mid-court line. If the offensive team puts the ball into play behind the mid-court line, it has 10 seconds to get the ball over the mid-court line. If it does not, then the defense gets the ball. Once the offensive team gets the ball over the mid-court line, it can no longer have possession of the ball in the area in back of the line. If it does, the defense is awarded the ball. Basketball court 1. Let us have a look. The ball is moved down the court toward the basket by passing or dribbling. The team with the ball is called the offense. The team without the ball is called the defense. They try to steal the ball, contest shots, steal and deflect passes and garner rebounds. When a team makes a basket, they score 2 points and the ball goes in to the other team. If a basket or field goal is made outside of the 3-point arc, then the basket is worth 3 points. A free throw is worth 1 point. Free throws are awarded to a team according to some formats involving the number of fouls committed in a half and or the type of foul committed. Fouling a shooter always results in 2 or 3 free throws being awarded the shooter, depending upon where he was when he shot. If he was beyond the 3-point line, then he gets 3 shots. Other types of fouls do not result in free throws being awarded until a certain number have accumulated during a half. Once that number is reached, then the player who was fouled is awarded a 1-and-1 opportunity. If he makes his first free throw, he gets to attempt a second. If he misses the first shot, the ball is live on the rebound. Each game is divided into sections. All levels have 2 halves. In college, Each half is 20 minutes long. In high school and below that, the halves are divided into 8 and sometimes 6-minute quarters. In the pros, quarters are 12 minutes long. There is a gap of several minutes between halves. Gaps between quarters are relatively short. If the score is tied at the end of regulation, then overtime periods of various lengths are played until a winner emerges. Each team is assigned a basket or goal to defend. This means that the other basket is their scoring basket. At halftime, the teams switch goals. The game begins with one player from either team at center court. A referee will toss the ball up between the two. The player that gets his hands on the ball will tip it to a teammate. This is called a tip-off. In addition to stealing the ball from an opposing player, there are other ways for a team to get the ball. One such way is if the other team commits a foul or violation. Let us have a look on fouls and violations in the game. Fouls. Personal fouls. Personal fouls include any type of illegal physical contact, hitting, pushing, slapping, holding, illegal pick, screen, when an offensive player is moving, when an offensive player sticks out a limb and makes physical contact with the defender in an attempt to block the path of the defender. Personal foul penalties. If a player is shooting while being fouled, then he gets 2 free throws if his shot doesn't go in, but only 1 free throw if his shot does go in. 3 free throws are awarded if the player is fouled while shooting for a 3-point goal and they miss their shot. If a player is fouled while shooting the 3-point shot and makes it anyway, he is awarded 1 free throw. Thus, he could score 4 points on the play. Inbounds. If fouled while not shooting, the ball is given to the team. The foul was committed upon. They get the ball at the nearest side or baseline out of bounds and have 5 seconds to pass the ball onto the court. 1-and-1. If the team committing the foul has 7 or more fouls in the game, then the player who was fouled is awarded 1 free throw. If he makes his first shot, then he is awarded another free throw. 10 or more fouls. If the team committing the foul has 10 or more fouls, then the fouled player receives 2 free throws. Charging. An offensive foul that is committed when a player pushes or runs over a defensive player. The ball is given to the team that the foul was committed upon. Blocking. Blocking is illegal. Personal contact resulting from a defender not establishing position in time to prevent an opponent's drive to the basket. Flagrant foul. Violent contact with an opponent. This includes hitting, kicking and punching. This type of foul results in free throws plus the offense retaining possession of the ball after the free throws. Intentional foul. When a player makes physical contact with another player with no reasonable effort to steal the ball, it is a judgment call for the officials. Technical foul. Technical foul is a player or a coach can commit this type of foul. It does not involve player contact or the ball, but is instead about the manners of the game. Foul language, obscenity, obscene gestures and even arguing can be considered a technical foul, as can technical details regarding filling in the scorebook improperly, or dunking during warm-ups. Violations: walking, dribbling. Taking more than a step and a half without dribbling the ball is dribbling. Moving your pivot foot once you have stopped dribbling is dribbling. Carrying, palming. When a player dribbles the ball with his hand too far to the side of or sometimes even under the ball. Double dribble. Dribbling the ball with both hands on the ball at the same time or picking up the dribble and then dribbling again is a double dribble. Held ball. Occasionally, two or more opposing players will gain possession of the ball at the same time. In order to avoid a prolonged and violent tussle, the referee stops the action and awards the ball to one team or the other on a rotating basis. Goaltending. If a defensive player interferes with a shot while it's on the way down toward the basket, while it's on the way up toward the basket, after having touched the backboard, or while it's in the cylinder above the rim, it's goaltending and the shot counts. If committed by an offensive player, it's a violation and the ball is awarded to the opposing team for a throw-in. Backcourt violation. Once the offense has brought the ball across the midcourt line, they cannot go back across the line during possession. If they do, the ball is awarded to the other team to pass inbounds. Time restrictions. A player passing the ball inbounds has 5 seconds to pass the ball. If he does not, then the ball is awarded to the other team. Other time restrictions include the rule that a player cannot have the ball for more than 5 seconds when being closely guarded, and in some states and levels, shot clock restrictions requiring a team to attempt a shot within a given time frame. So, these are the violations and the fouls in the game. While concluding, basketball is played by two teams of 5 players each. The aim of each team is to score in the opponent's basket and to prevent the other team from scoring. The game is controlled by the officials, table officials, and a commissioner if present. To play this game, player must know the rules, violations, and the fouls of the game. That's all for today's lecture. Hope this lecture has given you enough knowledge about the history of basketballs, its rules which were given in the history, the fouls, violations, and measurements required for this game. Thank you. Have a nice day.